No, but
we're on the same page.
no, listen. ES&S produces that. And in fact, they have not told us anything about it. They have not told us anything about it.
I was telling you, this is the first time I'm hearing.
They produce them in the training
I'm
and
saying, Mr. Buck, I mentioned to Mr. Buck that there's one for New York because they got millions of people and they get a lot of machines. But when they sell us 10 machines, maybe they think I was joking.
Yeah,
but they tell us about it because I asked them.
It should have been easier. It should have been easier for them to do it if it's only 10.
No, but it's
actually a shield so that I can stand on the side of the machine.
They are to mark? No, the DS2
the DS2 and see what you've done, because you need, if somebody's supposed to help you, they have to be around to help you. But it should have some privacy, even when you put it in the ballot. And they exist.
I see no problem with that,
but I don't see us getting them for the primary.
So then, can we set up a distance where each post will stand in line that the next post will complete, sticking a piece of paper and just towards it?
Yeah, that's what the monitor is supposed to be
doing. But we could do that. If you don't have
I ain't talking about the next post, I'm talking about the monitor.
But the monitor will be a person who hold me from going up when Mrs. Saturday up there. Right?
If the monitor, if we have give consent to somebody to assist, that's something different. But I'm talking about a monitor being able to see how many number ones went in, how many number twos go in, and things of that nature. If they are position, I can read upside down. I don't know about you. I can read upside down. But I can read upside down.
I see where you're going.
But people, you need to have it blacked out so people could see.
But Mr. What is that? If you are the monitor, and Mrs. Wells is at the DS200, you should make sure that I don't reach up there before Mrs. Wells have completed and she said, thank you for your vote. When she moves as the next person.
Okay.
But if you allow everybody to pile up behind each other, that is where you can people go other when you have
that's why we're
talking about the monitor.
I know.
Well, she's also
in Torah's machine, which was the last machines, right? People used to
You are saying that you voted for those machines. You were
I did not vote. Just the record. I was against that.
Member Ross and then Member Georges.
No, machine was finishing.
Oh, finishing, Madam.
But his machine.
All I was saying is, with those machines, you had the monitor behind the machines, helping people, or whenever you said they could have seen.
No.
And they had a function to go out. They
have a suggestion.
Reset the machine after the vote.
They just reset the machine.
I have a suggestion.
Member Ross first, then Member Georges.
My understanding is, and that was a good decision. My understanding is that once I come out of the voting booth, marking my ballot, I'm gonna get a privacy sleeve, so that if I have to stand 10 deep in the line, my ballot is secured by the person standing behind me, etc. It's not necessarily that I gotta be 10 feet away from the person casting the ballot. I also be concerned of the person standing behind me in the line. So that's what the privacy sleeve is.
Yeah.
Great idea.
That's what we do. Member Georges next.
Okay, also I want to add on the record pertaining to the same 8.5 by 14 sleeve. Sometimes we have a tendency when we're standing in line, we're talking with people, we're folding things or wrapping things. And the machine, as you can keep it flat, the easier it goes in, the easier it reads the whole process. So also putting it inside of the manila folder is a form of protection.
Member Hendricks.
And this is what I was going to say. By the ballot being in the sleeve, when the person goes up to the DS 200, we will tell the monitor, but the monitor will know that they cannot be standing over the machine. They know they need to give the person the ability to be able to put the ballot in the machine so that they can stand. It's not like they're going to be standing there looking. They have a function, but it's not to be standing in front of the machine or on the side of the machine.
Member Brian?
You see those blue and red station we got with 4 sections in there?
Yes.
You could push a DS200 in there. and the screen can go behind the person and nobody can see it.
Somebody suggested that we use the same old
But then
curtains from the electronic.
because you have a section there that person can go in with a wheelchair and know what to show. There's also a top shelf you can write on. You can remove that shelf and put it up and the machine can fit in there and the person can pick cherry. You can take go in there with the DSO and stick it in there like that. So nobody will be able to see unless you have somebody helping and walk that machine. Because still you're going to still be making it available for individuals who are in a wheelchair that don't want to automat. They can go right in there still.
Member Marshman said.
Since we are on the subject of machines, I would like to put this to rest, tell you the truth. Fox wants unmonitored voting machine in election.
Ms. Fox isn't here, so.
Just for election personnel. So we could discuss things among ourselves. Isn't that the reason why we're here?
But you know for yourself because you are the meeting.
Wait, I'm just saying.
You know that headline is not fair to Ms. Fox.
But let her say it for herself.
That's what I'm saying.
She comes back.
But this past she come back.
Okay. I'm concerned about this, and this should not just go under the unmonitored voting machine in election. I don't know. I don't know what you capable of.
I have another concern when Mrs. Fox come back. The last time we had a meeting, there was a letter from Mr. Matulin saying that the government owed him $20-something thousand in the past bill.
It's a large joint board.
And yes, ma'am. And he's also suggesting that he remove the motherboard. Those motherboards don't belong to Mr. Matulin. Those machines with information belongs to the board of election. I don't have a problem.
For what?
No, I
just asked you
for the machine. I don't have no problem with him getting paid if he owe him the money. But that motherboard up to that computer don't belong to him. That's our property. And I don't think you should be allowed to remove them and take them out. If we need any way to reference that technology is our property, he could get paid if we owe him money, but I don't suppose let him come here to take no motherboard. The motherboard of the system is like the brain. And if you let him go with that, we don't hold it at all. So the appropriate time I have to make a motion that we can pay the money if we owe him, but the motherboard, he have no access to those machines.
Member Marshman said he could bring up the paper and office's responses.
Yeah, go to Mrs. Fox. The headlines here says that Fox.
Give us a date, please.
Pardon me? The newspaper date? July 18th. That's right. Yeah, just a couple of days ago. And regardless, but I was very much present in this meeting. Picture of the meeting taking place here, and I even when the subject was brought up, I objected, and I even said that with all the schism that we have, it says here Fox wants unmonitored voting machine in elections office just for elections personnel. Now, Ms. Fox can explain, and I'm sure they want to say that it wasn't said, but I remember hearing that discussion that about having machines in the office. That means creating a new precinct. I would assume even that was discussed. I remember that distinctly. So this is not an error. And I'm not blaming the Fox, because if we make a mistake and we said something that may have been misunderstood, Ms. Fox would explain. You all need to pay attention to what
Member Waterton was the same one who said, are we making a loophole in place?
I think it's unfair for Ms. Monsanto to read a newspaper article and give that impression that anything like that was really intended by...
I am not giving the impression.
But intended by Ms. Fox.
I'm telling you what the paper
said.
It
was a joint board discussion before we voted no, we will not have a machine on election day in the office because there'll be no reason for it.
When was that?
That one last joint board because we was talking about it. We was talking about having a machine in the election, in each election system for people to vote thereupon. But when we think about it, the only people who can vote other than in the polling place would be an absentee voter who would be voting by an absentee ballot. And so there's no reason to have the machine there. She was only repeating what in fact we had discussed and agreed upon. before we made the distinction between the absentee vote and the walk-in. That before we clarified that a walk-in voter is an absentee voter and he has the ballot shot and it cannot be used, it cannot be counted that day. So I think it's unfair to blame her.
Then you threw her under the bus.
I threw her under the bus. I said that we cannot create a new polling place in the election office, even though we had in fact discussed that at the joint board meeting. Sometimes we discuss things and we think about things, and when you think hard and long enough, after you don't rush to decision, that you have to reconsider and think about what you're doing, because there's no reason to have an active machine in the office for somebody to be able to vote upon. The only machine we should have one is maybe a standby machine if in fact we need to. Some one of them break down, and I'm saying to you again, I've been told that these machines will break down. So do not be unprepared for that.
Mrs. Fox?
Yeah, if you wanna
Mrs. Fox is going to say something.
Yeah,
No, then member Ross?
Oh, that triggers another issue that I wanted. Most of our sites are going to have one machine. Most of our precinct sites, voting sites, will have one machine. And we need to establish or at least discuss a protocol as to what is going to occur when that one machine jams, cease to function.
Cease to function means that you can't continue.
Right.
Well, if that's the case, then we have a public cup, we have a protected cup, we have a drum drive. All we need to do is replace that machine. Shouldn't just record the time and date and what was there, the public count and the protected count and the machine. And from there we replace that machine, begin a zero count, a zero public count, we continue the polling place. That would be the most appropriate thing to do, because you can't formula a machine polling back from the card.
Excuse me, I don't think that that's what would have to happen, because by the time a new machine comes, what you're going to do, there's in the same machine box, there's a slot that is specifically assigned for ballots that did not go into the machine to be read to fall into the bottom box. There's a top shelf that can hold X amount of ballots.
1,500
Right,
ballots.
and that's where the person will have to put their ballots in.
That's what it says.
Except
It's like
our
400.
statement would cease to function, meaning that you can't.
That's all right. The person will vote and put it in a
I know,
slot.
but then voting. But when you say cease to function, I was interpreting that the function mechanism was not being able to move any further, and you still have a visible account of what was in the drum drive, what was on the machine, a separate and apart from what is in that tray. Because you will have to then seal that tray that Mrs. Henry is talking about. And you still have to take them out and find another machine to read them, because if it means cease to function, then you have to have the technician correct it. And you have to still take those ballots over there and continue. So you must be able to record when it stops, when the public comfort, when the protective comfort, and from there you continue when the technician have it functioning again. That's what my concern.
Talking about the little tray underneath.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, that was just talking about.
Because that have to be sealed.
Not the box.
Because you should be then sealing the ballot box downstairs, because nothing's have been done with it, right? And then you have to then, when you start putting the vote in, continue after the thing, you seal that also, because you can't take them out until the machine starts to function to be reading it.
So those, by that description, those ballots that we're putting in this tray, like we uncounted at the
Right.
time.
Yes.
Okay, and that brings up my other, that brings up
I'm
another
trying
issue.
to deal with, is that the protocol? Are you going to follow
But
that?
they're
Now,
uncomfortable.
I'm the devil's advocate here.
how do you mean a payroll function to follow the law and that machine?
But then this, if you don't, what would have to happen, especially if in fact we have a jam in, let's say, 2 different areas, and that occurs in 2 different areas. We have one, but in St. Thomas, I think we only have 1 standby machine. That's going to be we have 2 standby machines. We would then have to, possibly, we have to in 2 different areas, and we have to, and those machines cannot be restored quick enough to count those ballots. We will then be margin ballots by precinct, by margin ballots from different precincts.
Right, because we can take those from.
We already have a public company, they don't come.
I mean, you know, but you understand, you follow what I'm saying?
But if that's what your protocol is,
I mean,
if
but
the other way is
the other way too.
from what I gather is that you could store these uncounted ballots and then read them on a stand-alone machine and add them to the count that was already there.
And then stop that and then come from the other precinct. If we have more than one.
Because you have a protected from.
I understand, but I'm just saying, if we're gonna have an established, but we need to call.
Say what we will do.
If we have an established protocol, then if we have a problem and we have an interruption in the ballot counting at the poll, then what we're saying, we want to agree that they go in the holding slot, for the want of a better word. The tray, the holding slot, the straight. And we will count those ballots at the election system when? The same night.
The same night.
The same night. Same night. And right?
Yes.
Okay.
The same night.
And if we have more than one such incident, we will merely cut off the counting.
Why?
And so that numbers, so we can separate the numbers. So we can separate the numbers.
You have to come up with a negative and positive.
Right?
After you finish counting in one set, you know how many were counted, and you record it.
In other words, what I'm saying. Okay, let's say we have a breakdown at Dover School.
Right.
Okay, and that we have 400 ballots there.
And we count the
We count the 400 ballots off it.
So we know where it ends.
So we know where it ends. We have to clear the machine, and then count from Winston remote. If that happens at Winston remote too.
So
You
we
don't
add
have
the
to
400
clear it.
You don't have to clear
Because it
everything.
comes up.
You don't have to clear it, just keep going.
It comes up with
You would make notification as to where you began and where you ended.
Okay. So our standby machine will be alive if in fact we have an incident or breakdown.
Right.
I'm trying to understand, because we use polling places here. And my terms down. One of these days I'll get it together. At in St. Thomas, 2 or 3 different schools vote on one machine.
Remember
Okay,
now,
give me a name of a precinct. Okay, how many different precincts gonna come to vote at that particular school?
that's moving to Alita Cartwright.
But it doesn't
I'm
matter, it's
confused.
still considered.
Yeah, no, because you having several different, 2 or 3 different schools gonna come to that place, and you're using one machine.
No. Everybody have their own.
Everybody have their
Oh,
own.
so you must, okay, so I was confused, okay, so they're doing the same thing? Okay, I thought that was, okay. I'll listen.
Each precinct has its own machine.
Got you.
The question is what happens when that machine breaks down for precinct X? And that's what we're discussing. Then the ballots that follow, they break down at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So from 1, it goes into this holding bin.
Right.
And
the night we talk
the
about
night
feet and the
when we're dealing with counting the ballots for that precinct,
Right.
we feed this out of ballots
And add those to
and add them to the total. Is that basically what we're saying?
Yes.
So the DS200 breaks down. One of them break down. The judge records this in a recording book at so and so time, whatever the reason this machine ceased The functioning. public come will protect the count number appropriately. But you
If
know what
it
it is when it stops,
Yeah,
you have to show where you stop at.
Yes.
Correct.
But You have to
record
show where you came from.
all
Forgive me, because when I'm thinking cease to work,
I'm thinking that screen went blank and you wouldn't even know.
That is true. Whatever cease to operate mean that the machine no longer capable of retrieving, reading, balance, kind of recording a vote. That's why the service around when it ceased to operate.
Okay, right there.
No, but he had a good point because he is saying to you, because you keep saying this protective content. If there's nothing on the screen, then you can't read anything. So, but you still have to continue by putting those ballots in the slot.
Okay, but it's in that, so you're placing them in there.
Yeah.
Once they're done there, what's the next step? Do we say, okay, well, we close our polling place, and now we're doing, we now at the election system, the book comes, it says, at so-and-so time this year went down, we have to now remove it and put it in a standby machine? Or the standby machine is going to be at the polling place where you feed it into?
No, that's going to be done at the office, right?
The screen goes up, and the protected pump and the public pump is no longer visible. There's no need to put anything in there and they can verify what was there. Okay. So that's the way you go to a next machine, the S100, and check their protective pump and the public pump and go from there. Because you can't get public pump now, the one where sees to show you the screen with the protective pump there. You don't have nothing with that. Okay. You go to the next one to start from there when they finish the poll. Right. Because when the polls are closed,
they put the alarms on different precinct.
It's a standby machine.
Oh, they stand. Okay, all right, we're good. Good.
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay.
And as you put them in, there will be many people there, and you could count as you put in to make sure that the amount that was in that bin
And at the poll sites.
Right.
And you also will remove the machine that ceased to work. You're removing the jump drive from that and placing it into the new machine.
No.
So that it could read.
If the jump drive had 4,000 votes and you just counted 20 more, 4,020, would be added to that one. That one poll machine.
You don't want to take in jump drives from one machine and stick it into another. That's confusion.
So the standby machine has its own everything. So it will be at 0, and then you come and put in the one that
the ones that were not counted at the polls.
At the polls. Okay.
And it will so indicate.
Okay, I think I follow. Yeah, it's all new to me.
Member Marshman, Sunderland, member Webster.
Yeah, through the chair to Member Mongana, are you using any particular strategy in order to bring spoil ballots to probably the nil by sharing with the people that come in to work on the machine that indeed you have to pay attention to vote not for more than so. Vote for no more than 7. Vote for no.
You're talking about the training, like when we go out and do demonstrations.
Yeah. Are you?
I am only going by what the young lady was saying, Alexia told her, and I hope I answered your question. When you say taking the overvote or the spoil ballot, and what you do with it?
If we could minimize spoil ballots by really teaching and talking about the fact that
I only talk about, sorry.
Not more than 7, not more than 7. And that's where we would have a lot of spoil ballots.
I only talk about what you would do with it at the end. If you make if the DS200 gives you that warning, what you would do is place it in a spoiled ballot bin. But now I'm hearing members talking about the stamp that's going to have to run. So now
this is the day of the election, you know. Not
no. I understand. Yeah, but you know, when you're going through these things, you didn't think it would involve more.
Oh,
okay, so
I'm
here now and I'm saying, well, this is something else I need to talk to. Like when we made that rule to reject overvotes on the DS200, I made sure that I tell the people who are there, the demonstrations, that is something that we voted on.
Okay, me have the question from
We're on this topic here now, right?
rather talk about feeding the votes into the machine two different times. You'll be doing it on election night and you'll be doing it the day after. What happens when
The day after?
yeah, the different absentee, you have to feed them into the machine?
And the third.
Oh, and the third.
And what's the policy when I'm an absentee voter, I voted for 8, and the machine now doesn't accept spoiled ballots? Then what happens?
It will accept it. All it will say is you overvoted it. Only the particular contest.
And then what do you do with the person that's spoiled and the whole
The whole ballot might not necessarily be spoiled. Mr. Webster, the whole ballot did not be spoiled.
That's a segment.
Maybe it will probably be, remember we have different contests.
Different ballots, okay.
Yeah, we can't correct it.
Right. You can't, exactly.
So one thing I want to get back to with Mr. Molina brought up, and I mentioned it twice to Ms. Fox in our district meeting, because I don't think she has reported back to you. And I'm not saying this because I was not in favor of the vote, but we voted last time, as he said, to have the machine program to reject overvotes. Have any of you followed up, or do you know whether or not that is possible? Because I don't see how it is. Like, you guys think I was being ignorant. I don't see how it's possible that you can program the machine not to operate and tell you could either correct your ballot or you could vote or you could let the ballot go. Have any of you followed up, or do you know, have you been reported back to on it? Because when I spoke to Ms. Fox about it, she basically she didn't do anything about it.
Well, we're on the phone, yes, and it can be programmed either way. So the answer to that is yes, we can program either way to accept or reject a overvote or support ballot. It can be programmed either way. It's up to the programmer to determine basically whatever you all decide.
But it was decided.
Well, it was
decided. So we need administrator. It was decided by the joint board at a vote, at the last joint board meeting, that the machines must be programmed that way. So I asked Ms. Fox.
Were you at the Carambola? And when the demonstrator from Duval County said that's what they do?
I don't remember that specific.
And that's where a lot of these thoughts.
I don't remember that specific statement. But it doesn't matter. My question was.
Well, you asked if it could be done in Vernon. I'm giving you a county that does it, and that's where the other idea came from, by placing the what they call it. What they call that thing that comes out? The ticker tape. The tape that goes on the door at the end of the election. That's what I
don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying. Ms. Fox, I asked Ms. Fox about it, and I don't know what Ms. Fox said at the time is that she didn't do anything with that information. Ms. Fox was talking about.
That's correct, but I said just now earlier before you come here, yes, and it's going to come back here. When they come here, it's better to ask them, because some saying yes, it can be done, some saying no, it can't be done. I was on the phone with her yesterday. Again, you need to explain it. So she said she's going to be here in a couple of weeks, and she'll let you know whether it can be programmed for overvoting or not.
But for the record, I know for a fact, the same thing that Atuma can do when you're using it to prevent all those things, the programmer can set it up the same way, because the programmer takes what the machine function does. Same like an ATM machine. Put in a wrapping number 3 times, you might give back the card, wait till 3 times and shred it or keep it. So what the programmer does to make correlation or similarity, what the mark does in marking about, because you're actually marking about mechanically by the auto mark, and you're marking it by the voting station. So what would happen if you select a party as an example? Let's say select the avocado party. What you're saying is you're picking all the candidates in the categories that require a vote. If you pick another party person, the machine does not tell you that, but the automatic will show you that. So all we were doing is trying to get Mrs. Alexa, her name is, or someone from ESNS, to make the correlation or simulation between what the automark does and show you as opposed to what. Because when you use the automark, you really can't take up that ballot until you certify that you categorize it, because it scans and any category that you selected in, it cancels if you pick too much, it tells you that, and it comes back and let you know you did not vote in these categories. The DS200 does not. So I'm saying, whoever they said should be able to have the program set that the DS200 reach similar activity. And I think that's what they show us all the time.
What it tells me is that we'll have a lot more spoiled ballot.
Oh.
Because you're going to reject it, but you're going to reject that. Once you reject it, it's a spoiled ballot.
If you rejected it, you have a chance to correct it.
It's spoiled.
If it can't spoil, the machine will no. The machine won't record your vote when you push the button to cast the ballot with the arrow. That number stays the same and the comp and on the public count and protection. It only changes when you push the button to vote with the paper as with the arrow. Mr. Alexander saw that happen? Okay.
Yeah.
If
the ballot comes back out of the machine,
yeah,
I mean, and you have to correct it. I mean, it's spoiled.
I know, but you're saying that system by programming the two do the same thing.
All I'm saying is
you have more spoiled ballot because you have to go into the system and select those ballots that were in the ballot that didn't recognize the error.
All I'm saying, once you tell the machine you want to correct your ballot, that ballot that comes out is spoiled. That means we're creating more spoiled ballots.
No.
If in fact the person wants to, would have, and I don't want to
unless spoiled ballots in the machine.
Right.
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 Yeah.
Yes. Portions that are spoiled, not spoiled ballots. Portions that are spoiled. But it will be counted. What comes back out of the machine is not counted, will go back to the proper person and you'll be issued a new ballot.
That correlates with the automatic.
They have nothing to do with no automatic.
It has to do with it, because when you get back a ballot, you made an error when you overvote. Right now, if you take a machine and select 2 people for delegate to Congress, it tells you overvoted in category there. It tells you, well, you don't want to vote this way, you want to correct it, you get that's by ballot. But then there are other categories on the ballot that it does not notify you similar activity. Because the automat tells you every category in that ballot.
In every contest it will tell you.
But it does not tell you when you mark the ballot at the voting station and put it in the machine. It doesn't tell you that.
Of course it does.
No! Mr. Alexander, Mr. Walker.
The issue.
Could we ask these 2 guys to be ready?
No.
If I take these guys up here.
What kind of it do? It doesn't matter.
I'm not
it doesn't matter whether, because they shouldn't get involved in
why?
a debate.
They're employees of the board.
Yeah, but they shouldn't get involved in a debate.
Why? We in debate we asking a technological question they can.
It's not technological. It's
Well,
not
can I ask my
technical.
question then, please?
Ask the question.
Mr. Balkins. To the chair, Mr. Balkins and Mr. Alexander. If I have a sample ballot, right, and I pick a mango party, you hear me, sir?
We don't have no sample ballot and no mango party.
With the majesty, you did the she wanted to play games all the time.
Let's
If
go.
we have a sample ballot,
Let's go.
we have a sample
Demonstration
ballot,
ballot.
right? And I fill in avocado party. If the avocado party have a 7 slaves for senators, and I go and mark a mango individual, isn't it a fact that the machine will still register the vote because I didn't recognize that we voted? Thank you. Please say something.
I want to be overvoted, didn't recognize.
No, because it's supposed to recognize. Because
That's an error right now.
The cell ballot
The
supersedes.
program doesn't have an error. That's how it's programmed.
It's not an error, but
That's how it's programmed.
programmed to that, but
It's not an error.
let the man finish them, man.
I don't say it's not an error. He says an error, and it's not an error.
What is
That's
it?
how it's programmed.
But this program we speaking about, Mr. Watlington.
That's completely different from what you said.
Following
No.
law. Following the law.
That the program how it is now.
The program
the
right now.
demonstration.
Following the
the
law when it
demonstration.
comes to
The demonstration.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, that's it. That's it. We're here to follow the law. That's it.
But it doesn't have anything to do with following the law, whether you accept a square ballot or not.
But you continue to make that argument, right? What the function of the board is not to disenfranchise the voters.
Correct.
Okay? And when we say to the machine, don't accept a spoiled ballot, the because we want to give this voter 2 more chances to vote. We're doing what we're supposed to do. Okay? We're doing what we're supposed to do. If we tell the machine, accept the spoiled ballot, basically telling the machine, we're going to only accept the voters vote in those sections that are valid and disenfranchise in those sections that are not. So I don't have a problem.
That's
what you do with absentee ballot. That's always have done with absentee. That's what we did with the paper ballot. Once they vote, they vote. They were given a chance to do the right thing. This process gives them a chance to do the right thing.
And that's a consequence.
And if it takes each voter 3 spoiled ballots to do it, so be it. That's what we're there for.
I have no problem with your position. All I'm saying, one might do things is whether or not it can actually be done. And number two, once we do that, we are creating more spoiled ballots.
More uncounted ballots.
More uncounted ballots that we put that we can stamp spoiled.
No,
you stamp S and don't put spoiled in it, put Q.
We don't stop it. We don't stop it because you stop making noise by everything I say this and this and that. That's not proper.
It's true. That's all section. You disenfranchising me because I should be
Madam Chairman, the record is having a problem here. Too many things going around.
Hi, good day, how are you?
Alexa?
I hear you.
Hold on. So I think that it's Greg, I'm not speaking. You could ask him more questions. Yes, Greg, I'm asking him a question.
No, well, you want to do it, Mr. Molina?
Or Mr. Ross?
Speak for
Yes, and that's another question.
Why don't we tell the one?
Ask him to
No, I asked him.
Why don't you
What about overvoting? So I can explain it properly. Yeah.
Mr. Lucas is going to handle just a minute. Just a minute.
We want to know the DS 200 will give us a notification like
similar to
Automark when we done change from a straight party.
All right, that's good.
No, we can't from a straight party. Not from a straight party.
Not selecting a party.
We have nothing to do with a party. There's a primary.
Hello?
How long is the match time to get a somebody object over?
No, just to be there with you. Greg is in there.
Then we have one more section to do here. E on our agenda is put us out of here straight.
I have a motion.
Have you written?
No, I can play part. I believe E is a district issue.
No. Sorry.
Yes, I believe E is a district issue. As to whether or not we can allow a private group to televise and tape all our proceedings. If that's the one, if that should be done, then let us do it. Why one group, not every other group? This city, yes, you let her right there, yes, and I don't think the joint board have any authority to make a decision on St. Thomas, nor the joint board make a decision on St. Croix. But my position is not a joint board issue, and that we should be careful about allowing somebody, some private group, to come and have exclusive exclusive right to televise all of our counting stuff and whatever we're doing. And if we want that to be done, then we should contract to do it ourselves.
That's the motion?
I will move that item be taken off on the agenda.
Second.
You move a second point of information, Member Bilal.
What I read in the paper wasn't an exclusiveness. It was just asking permission to see if they can do it or were allowed to do it, but they were not saying an exclusive, which means they would have deter anybody else from coming to do the same thing.
So, Ms. Malado, what do you think will happen if 5 different groups decide that they
Well,
want
that's
to
for us to determine, but we can't set the access on exclusivity.
We have a motion on the floor.
I think I explained this, Mr. Wellington. We already agreed that we're going to have one televised access from where we're reading the the drum drive and the cartridges inside where we're going to be sitting. We have cameras in there telling every process of that activity outside under the tent where everybody can see and hear or even patch in to the information coming out in a house at the table. So everybody have access out there. That is what we should be concentrating. You don't want the place back up with people moving things back and forth and one person alone fighting outside. We have one system already with the cable outside, the television will be out there, anybody can patch in like they have done before to get information. They will see the same thing outside that then one person or group of individuals can see inside.
I agree.
Have done before.
I agree. Plug in to remove item A off the agenda.
System so that
You have to see from outside.
We don't remove it. We have to address it.
Well, we already done.
We already in second.
So
On the
they
floor.
have a vote.
But we already agreed to it. Agreed to having if one television coming there where everybody could plug in and that.
All we're doing is
We didn't agree on that already.
Maybe we're talking two different things.
BI Action is always.
BI Action Group wants to come in and put their camera inside the counting room in both districts, right?
And my motion is to remove that item off the agenda. It's been seconded by
I think you can address it clearly by just making it clear to the applicants that we already agreed at the board meeting. We're going to have one access covering all the activities from the site and the
What wasn't the motion?
That's ACO
I know, people have to take it on the agenda.
But that's what my motion is. Second.
I know I seconded, but in the discussion,
I understand.
we can explain why we not
The
doing
roll
that.
call on the motion to remove item E.
Lawrence Larry Bishalti, absent. Harry Daniels, absent. Gordon Georges, yes. Lydia Hendricks,
Yes.
yes. Wilma Marsh Monsanto,
Not voting.
abstain. Arturo Watlington Jr., yes. Alicia Wells,
Yes.
yes. Juliana Belade O'Neill,
No.
no. Adelbert Bryan, yes. Lisa Harris Moorhead, absent. Roland Molina,
Yes.
yes. Rupert Ross Jr.,
Yep.
yes. Glenn Webster,
Yes.
yes. Raymond Williams, absent. Madam Chair, 8 yeas, 1 no, 1 abstention, 4 absent.
Motion.
Carried.
Motion is carried. Member Bryan?
My motion is that the chairman of the joint board notify the applicants in this situation. The board have already decided that we will have one camera solely in the area where the ballots information for the jump drive and cartridges are read. Will be piped outside to all available access media and reporters and other individuals can access information and provide the outlet to be able to know.
Second.
Second, 1P. Any objection?
So,
All right, so that's what I'm going to do. This is the third year.
Joint board chairman.
Any other announcements of business?
Yeah, I have a concern. Mrs. Fox, I mean, yes.
Oh, Mr. Bolkes has someone from ESNS on. Hold on to your question.
Ask the question and then you can answer.
Yes, and that's on the telephone.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Afternoon, as I had asked you earlier, we're calling about the software. We're trying to find out if we were to insert a ballot into the DS200. As you know, when we insert a ballot into the auto mark and we overvote or change, make any significant changes, we're immediately notified by the software and the auto mark. We're trying to find out if we will be able to be notified with the software and the DS200 if we have overvoted, or there's a number of other things that we're talking about right now, but overvoting seems to be the main one.
Rejects the ability to vote.
Yes, exactly. So we wanted to set reject the ballot immediately if we overvote.
Entirely.
That is an option.
We reject the vote entirely.
The ballot.
Yes, you said yes. You said the option.
Good afternoon again, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Yeah. My concern is, you see the program that works and manages the information from the automat, with your headset or otherwise. The automat allows you to observe where you have not completed the selection, where you have not selected beyond or under voted. It does that in the screen on your audio. And you can get a ballot from the automat without any errors unless you and your own volition go ahead and eject the ballot to be put in the DS200. What we asking, can we get the DS200 program to simultaneously or similarly redress or address the same concern that the automat can do, where you don't have selections made without notifying the candidate, where you have a program to send the ballot back to have you cast it or reject it and correct it. Can we do that with the DS200 program? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Could you have your name, please, sir?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. King? Yes. King, and you are ESLS representative?
If you can do that same, what would be, if you program it that way? Okay. If that is done, would it affect on the voting? In other words, if I have a choice to vote for 7 candidates and I choose to only vote for 2 in one category, would it?
We already made a decision that we were having one paper, color-coded by contest.
I'm trying to make sure I don't think we voted that.
Yes.
He said no. Yes.
You said
I know I have said.
So that's one ballot. Yes, one ballot.
That's been addressed.
And for the record as well,
multiple ballots.
what we agreed on the definition of ballots and primary and general and election board and election system, we agreed that governors at large and senators on the front, and the section that the office official ballot be delegated to Congress be marked in a color, governors with another color, district at large be marked in another color, and senators in another color.
You have that written down on your motion.
No.
It wasn't that?
No,
I write it down.
we understood.
Each contest will be color-coded.
And the official ballot.
Yeah.
Right? All of that was not.
Yeah, but that's why.
No.
We voted already.
What was at the back you said? Because I was
Board of election, board of education.
Boards and referendum.
On these a referendum, you'll have official ballot referendum, official ballot board of election, official ballot board of education, except there will be a color to each category of office. So you don't know this is a referendum.
The change of it, right? Is it your understanding that there's a delegate ballot, federal ballot,
right,
and then there's a local public office ballot, and in that ballot, the selections for governor, senator at large, and district. That's the second ballot.
Yeah, with a color code.
Contest.
Second contest. I mean, when we did the primary election, we didn't treat it as a singular ballot. Because when we started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for at large. We started over with 1 again for the senators.
Right.
And that sort of tweaked the law. It should have been a continuation. Because the large senator is part of the senatorial ballot. And then the third ballot would be the Board of Elections on the back.
Board of Education.
Board of Education. Whatever that.
But when you have education.
I know what I'm saying.
For the primary.
So
For the general.
For this year, no board of education at all.
No, because it does work.
right. I just didn't want us to confuse me or others that the governor's ballot and the large ballot and the district, the senatorial district ballots are 3 separate ballots. It's one public ballot.
Sections.
That's what we voted on.
Okay, I don't understand that. It was one ballot.
Yes.
To be more official ballot and executive.
The delegate ballot
No.
is a Virgin Islands public office election ballot, and there's a Board of Election ballot. Those are the 3 ballots.
Well, okay, so that means
And in the case of St. Croix, to use an example, in the case of St. Croix, the Board of Election ballot has 1 section. In the case of St. Thomas, St. John, the Board of Election ballot has 2 sections. Am I correct?
Yes,
Correct.
because
We don't want to make the same mistake we made in 2012.
well, I think, I think it's just that Ms. Fox, people have to be mindful that when they cast the lot.
2012.
When the 2012, no, I'm saying that they only have to be mindful that when they cast the lot, that they set it up properly.
And in addition to, there should be notification on the ballot telling them
Yes,
what they have to select one from.
So
the
what, so it's important that, because it seems to me that they've casting lots and they still ain't understand exactly what offices people are going to be competing for.
I had a question. Governor ballot is first or the delegate ballot?
Delegate.
This is
Delegate supersedes.
Federal ballot.
Okay, and then lastly, numbering.
You just said chronological from senator at large to senator.
That's what you said?
Yeah, you just said.
Okay.
So that they didn't do what they did this time.
Okay.
And the same thing with it in St. Thomas, St. John Board of Elections ballot.
I was pointed out to the supervisor before it was printed.
Well,
That my name should be numbered by itself by the Board of Education.
when was this?
Way back before the.
Oh, not this supervisor here.
No, I know it's Ms. Fox.
That's the old.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure we're going to point out a lot of things to other people. But we got to be sensitive. That's where a lot of confusion came in.
Well, you had a deputy over there in that side who really was not
I don't wish to address that.
My motion again, if I'm fair.
You're making another motion?
You mean in the John
that the motherboard from the central
Oh, you
machine
said that about paying Mr.
the
Matthews.
custody of the original board of election system. That was the motion. And the second, there was no objection.
Who was it second one?
He was second, right? I said.
If Mr. Louis should be compensated, that's how he should get compensation if he win money.
Who's this person anyhow for what?
When he said I built to Mrs. Paxton, it was some money.
And he said $5,000?
32,000.
But he suggested.
Where did money even come from?
I don't know, but he suggested he take the motherboard of the machine.
His request is responsive. He said it on a board.
We want to make it clear.
What do you understand something?
What do you mean we need it for? It's our property. We can't even take something and pay.
How much a motherboard costs?
I don't know.
The age of the machine over 20 years old.
In other words, is that comparable?
No, you know the purpose is?
I could do the same. I would have to store it somewhere.
They're not big piece of things. They could store in a box. They could store in a
If he would take the motherboard in the
machines are ours. We can put them procurement.
I was here to take the motherboard and load it for a
You were saying something about his response.
I know motherboard.
As it relates to the motherboard. What did he say?
Right. His payment, he said in addition he would like his payment and he would send his team to get the motherboards from the equipment and then he can dispose of it for
any further investigation of
recommend throwing them in the sea.
The machine itself, the body of the machine.
The body of the machine.
And the reason why I'm objecting to the motion is because I think that some research needs to be done I mean, all of his contract predates all of us here present.
It was in the contract.
Because the contract may have given him ownership over the motherboard, not the rest of the machine.
Copies of those and all.
You cannot own that. That's all we pay he for that. With the motion not passed, we cannot take them.
The motherboard is intellectual property. He may be entitled to walk away with it. I said he may be. We need to look at the contract.
We don't vote already on that.
When we voted.
When?
There was
We
no
vote right here, the motion was made, no objection.
No objection.
Who said that?
Nobody didn't call for no vote.
Who said somebody called for?
Hold on a second.
It was made and seconded and no objection. After the record, Mr. AG decided he wanted us to go over an investigation he have not completed. What he going to have present to see where the machine is. Those machines are ours. We paid for them. If you want the money, I bet you tell you why the motherboard is set for $3,000. Not $3,000 to save from them to feel the but you want the car for it.
We don't have to give him money.
But we have no contract with him.
There's a motion to
Let me just have and this is to do with the blind. I've been working with the people at Inside Farm, me and Terrell and member Webster, and we've been finding is, and we're saying this if you find it in your district too, is that they get disoriented when trying to figure out where the keypad is, even though if you show them where it is. So we've been working on a method with them, and it's called the 2, 4, 5, 6, 8 method. It's similar to your keypad on your.
2, 4, 5, 6, 8.
2, 4, 5, 6, and 8. Where the 5 is your home key, or the select button. The 2 is your up button, because they learn it with their cell phones or their if not cell phones, the keypads on their phone, so they know how to dial the call they need, so call whoever they need to call for help or assistance. So we've been working on that method with them, and they seem to be been getting a lot of good improvement from those individuals who are blind. So
2, 4, 5,
4 would be back, 6 would be forward, and 8 would be down. As simple as that.
What is important, I think you can add, the only key on that pad that has braille on it is the select key. So they would familiarize that selection, and they will hear, if they can't see, if somebody pushed that select key, it will be recorded with the keypad. So basically that's the same thing, and I think, if I may, Madam Chair, I don't know if you're willing to ask Mr. Atlee, the joint board or the 2 technicians and the chairs who, before primary election, will appear at the stations to explain the marking of the ballot. People start about making check mark and that mark and X and circling. And up to their day. Yeah. No, they have a channel 12 and channel 6. They should do that. The last time we did the channel 6 was Mr. Weber and Ms. O'Neill and myself with Mr. Redfield. And that's the same channel that he have access to all the time. Channel 12 is directly increased. I said, I don't know, Liliana, have they ever shown a portion that you went to with Ms. Channel 12? Remember you went to Channel 12? They ever show it?
I don't know.
You see, they're not asking these things and they'll show them. So when they show Mr. Rattles who done that already, should show the machine.
Mr. Labrafa is very tired.
I'm going to ask Mr. Lopez and I'm going to ask Mr. Terrell, but it wasn't second yet, to check that those stations from.
Yeah, but we need to get before the election primary.
Mr. Terrell said I've shown it 3 times.
You said?
I never.
Mr. Booker, you were going to say something?
Yeah, it's off the subject, unfortunately, but it's about the DS200, the seals on the DS200. When they go to the polling place, one of the judges, we were explaining to her the procedures as to how you break the seals to get the machine open and get ready for your polling, for voting actually. And she mentioned that maybe we shouldn't break the seal for where the blue bin is retained, just so that nobody can say, well, he or she was in there, or whatever the case may be. I don't know if the procedure is set in stone yet as to breaking the seals and in what order or which seals to break, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Before the election or after?
Before, I know that it has to be resealed afterwards.
But it is.
But I think we went over the process of transporting the ballots after the counting to the ballot places. And you would open them, so you were required to take them on to have the judges.
The ballots will be inside the blue bin,
right.
in the DSP on the
And when they get to the poll, the judge with the postal activating machine for clarity, zero count, would take them out and distribute them to the judge who would have, whether the monitor, the clerk, or the facilitator would have the count to verify whether the 100 is stuff or 50 is stuff. And then that will be empty, and zero count is effective on the zero through clarification to start getting this.
Okay.
Rather than putting them in these challenge
bar.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I wasn't aware of that, so I wasn't able to answer her question. So now that I know, I will let her know.
After election, no seals.
Mrs. Fox, we ever get a chance to find out this? And next seal.
You close, after you close the poll, you seal the box.
But will you ever get the right seal, the flat seal to go through the close and the ballot boxes? Remember the wrong one that have a little bubble and then can't fit?
Right. Yes, and let's bring in some. We talked to them yesterday. They're bringing some with them. So we ordered from another company next door. One used to be ordered from last week. So we have more than enough seals. We ordered some of the stuff to cover the ear for the headphones, the ear things to cover for sanitary purposes, some signs, some sticker I voted, some other
Everybody who would get one of those.
got tamper seats, tamper evidence seals for the jump drive. So we got some seals and stuff.
In addition to that too, Mr. Alexandra was at the complex, and I think we've been discussing borrowing some of those adjustable special ed tables to put in just one that. So getting somewhere that, right?
Yes, he told us about it. Maybe for the general, we could look and see what we could order in advance.
Well, for the general, we already have the catalog. We could get them from PSNS or from the other person, because that particular table is designed with a shield that everybody even talking about, somebody can't see.
That's why automatic. But the legs are automatic. You could roll right up to it and when it moves.
Then the judges move. Is there a second to say that? No further business. It's 4:10 or 4:08. Meeting is now adjourned.
We're gonna get some.
I've never trained with the zipper box, so I don't know.
We're gonna, yes, and this we have to call them.